Are you prepared to uncover the one type of video that women pray you never see? Brace yourself for a truth bomb that will shatter conventional wisdom and leave you questioning everything you've been taught. Welcome back, warriors. It's time to take a deep dive into the mind of Socrates, the legendary Greek philosopher whose teachings continue to shape our world today. In this thought-provoking video, we will explore 3 of his most controversial ideas that challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of human understanding. We will discuss how they apply to modern society and why they are so often kept hidden from public view. So make sure to watch till the end to discover the whole truth. But before we dive in, remember to hit that subscribe button. Join our growing movement of critical thinkers who are ready to challenge the status quo and explore new ideas. By subscribing, you'll be the first to know when we release new videos that will expand your mind and challenge your perspectives. Don't miss out on this opportunity to stay ahead of the curve and keep your mind sharp. Subscribe now and let's get started. Socrates' idea 1. Women don't want your approval. This idea might seem like common sense, but in reality, it goes against the grain of what many men believe. Let me explain. From a young age, many of us have been conditioned to believe that women are the ultimate arbiters of our worth and value as men. The media, entertainment, and even our peers constantly reinforce this message, making us feel like we need their approval to be successful. However, Socrates had a different perspective. He believed that we should not seek external validation from anyone, including women. Instead, we should focus on our own internal sense of self-worth and strive to live a life true to our own values and beliefs. In today's society, we often see men who are so desperate for female attention that they will do anything to get it. They will buy expensive clothes, cars, or even plastic surgery just to impress a woman. But according to Socrates' philosophy, this is a misguided and ultimately futile approach to life. True happiness and fulfillment can only be achieved by living a life of virtue and seeking wisdom rather than chasing after fleeting external pleasures. By trying to win over women through material possessions or superficial means, men risk losing their sense of self and becoming slaves to their own desires. But you might be thinking, isn't it natural for men to want female attention? After all, it is through sexual reproduction that we continue our species. And it is certainly true that our biological makeup drives us to seek out sexual gratification. However, Socrates believed that we have the ability to control our base desires and choose how we respond to them. The key, he said, is to cultivate our rational and spiritual nature and use it to guide our actions. This does not mean that we should deny our physical needs, but rather that we should seek to satisfy them in a way that is aligned with our values and does not compromise our integrity. So what does this all mean for you as a man? Well, Socrates' teachings suggest that you should not seek female approval as the ultimate measure of your success or worth. Instead, focus on being the best version of yourself, cultivating your intellect, developing your character, and living a life of purpose and meaning. By doing so, you will not only win the respect of women, but also achieve true happiness and fulfillment in life. Now, you may be wondering why this idea is considered so dangerous. After all, it's not exactly a radical concept to say that we shouldn't base our self-worth on other people's opinions. However, the truth is that this idea goes against the deeply ingrained societal norms that have been placed on men for centuries. For much of human history, men have been socialized to believe that their value as individuals is directly tied to their ability to attract and please women. This belief system has been perpetuated by everything from religious teachings to Hollywood movies, which often portray women as the ultimate prize that men must strive to win. The problem with this way of thinking is that it reduces men to their sexual function and denies them the opportunity to explore their full potential as human beings. When men are constantly bombarded with messages that their worth is tied to their ability to satisfy women, they may begin to feel anxious or even worthless if they are unable to conform to these unrealistic expectations. This can lead to a number of negative consequences, such as decreased self-esteem, increased rates of depression and addiction, and a general sense of dissatisfaction with life. Furthermore, this societal pressure to conform to rigid gender roles can also have a detrimental effect on women. When women are portrayed as the ultimate prize in life, they can be objectified and reduced to their sexual value. This can lead to a number of problems, such as an increased risk of sexual violence, unrealistic beauty standards, and limited opportunities outside of the domestic sphere. Socrates' idea, too, women are not superior. In today's society, there is a growing movement towards gender equality, and rightfully so. Women have historically been marginalized and oppressed, and it is important to recognize their equal value and rights as human beings. However, Socrates took this idea a step further and argued that women are not simply equal to men, but in some ways actually superior. You might be thinking, wait a minute, how can this be possible? Isn't he contradicting himself? After all, we typically think of men as being stronger, more rational, and more capable than women. However, Socrates believed that strength and rationality are not the only or even the most important qualities that make us human. He also valued things like wisdom, compassion, and the ability to understand and connect with others on an emotional level. And he believed that women often excel in these areas. Think about it. Women are often able to multitask and manage multiple responsibilities at once, which requires a high degree of wisdom and emotional intelligence. They are also often better at communicating and empathizing with others, which is essential for building strong relationships and creating a sense of community. Socrates recognized these qualities in women and believed that they should be valued and respected just as much as those traditionally associated with masculinity. Of course, this idea was extremely controversial in ancient Greece, where women were largely seen as property and had very limited rights or opportunities. But Socrates was willing to go against the grain and challenge conventional thinking in order to advocate for the equal treatment of women. He believed that women should have access to the same education and opportunities as men, and that they should be allowed to participate in public life. You might be wondering why this idea is so dangerous. After all, it's not exactly radical to suggest that women should be treated equally, right? Well, the truth is that even today, there are still many societies where women face discrimination, violence, and oppression. By suggesting that women are not only equal but superior to men in certain ways, Socrates was challenging the very foundations of these societies and the power structures that they are built upon. He was essentially saying that the traditional gender roles and expectations that society has placed on men and women are not natural or inevitable, but are instead the result of cultural conditioning and power dynamics. Socrates' idea 3: women use emotions to control. Now, I know this might sound shocking, but let me explain. Socrates was not saying that all women are manipulative or deceitful. Rather, he was pointing out that it is a common human tendency for people to use emotions as a way of getting what they want, and that women are just as capable of doing this as men. Think about it. Emotions are a powerful force that can influence our thoughts, behaviors, and decisions. And those who understand how to use them effectively can wield tremendous power over others. Women, with their natural ability to connect with and understand emotions, are often skilled at using this ability to influence those around them. This does not mean that women are inherently manipulative, but rather that they have a greater capacity for understanding and working with emotions, and that this capacity can be used for good or for bad. It's important to note that Socrates was not suggesting that women are more emotional or less rational than men. Rather, he believed that both men and women are capable of using reason and logic, but that women often have a more nuanced understanding of the world and are able to take into account the emotional aspects of a situation. This does not make women superior, but rather recognizes their unique strengths and abilities. With that said, you might be wondering why this idea is considered so dangerous. After all, isn't it just a simple observation of human nature? Well, the truth is that this idea challenges the traditional patriarchal structures of society and the roles that have been assigned to men and women. By suggesting that women are capable of wielding power through their emotional intelligence, Socrates was essentially questioning the authority of those who hold power and reminding us that power can be used for good or for bad by anyone. Alright, warriors, there you have it. 3 of Socrates' most controversial ideas that challenge the status quo and push the boundaries of human understanding. What do you think? Do you agree with Socrates' teachings? Or do you think that there are some things that are better left unspoken? Let us know in the comments below. And if you're hungry for more knowledge and wisdom, then don't forget to subscribe. We release new videos every week that will expand your mind and challenge your perspectives. Thanks for watching. Until next time.